Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Yeah, thanks for your time, and it's really my pleasure to be here and invite all guest speakers here. Today we would like, it's a very special section because we invite from silicon vendor to application developer from worldwide, I would say, from Korea, from India, and yeah. So it's a very interesting for me, and to discuss about Edge AI is really a very complex things because it's not only we cannot take the only single angle from a major silicon or from system or hardware or software. Actually, from our point of view, it's a very complex and a very fragmentized area. And right now, everybody is talking about AI, but I think it's a time to deep dive into some challenges and where is the opportunities. So I would like to bring all of them and share their experience. They are very, very professional ones, and I would like to have a free conversation with all of you, and let's see what can we co-work together. All right. So today we have 5 panelists. Well, the first one I would like to introduce Han from Qualcomm. He's a BD director in Taiwan. Han.
Hey, hello everyone. It's a pleasure to represent the Qualcomm to join the event. It's Han from Qualcomm Taiwan, and I'm in charge of the IIoT, the business developer in Taiwan. Yeah, good to see you guys.
Thank you. And Han's my good friends in Taiwan. We work in some projects. And the second is Eder from Renesas. Yes.
Hi, my name is Eldar. I'm part of AI COE tech lead for Renesas, mainly working on the software and the hardware IPs. So it's very nice to meet all of you.
Great. And then Daniel from Enerzai. I think you know Daniel because he delivered a workshop with our team member today morning. It's a very sparkling workshop. I hope you didn't miss it. Okay, Daniel.
Hi everyone, I'm Daniel from Enerzai, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Enerzai. So Enerzai is an Edge AI software company. We build very small language models, vision models that could run on edge with minimum power and memory. So it's a great honor to be with all of the panels here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. And then Piyush from India. They are doing very special things. Their company they develop models to detect the tigers in the forest. Yeah, so today it's pleased to have a Piyush here to share his experience.
Thanks for the kind introduction. Very happy to be here. Hi everyone, I am Piyush. I lead this company called Kudrat AI. We operate out of India, majorly in the forest areas of India. So in terms of what we work on, we make these AI-powered cameras that we deploy in forest areas for all sort of forest management related work. And again, we focus on the actual application of Edge AI-based applications. So yeah, very happy to be here.
Okay, it's a very interesting application, right? So last but not least, our Yiheng. Yiheng belongs to our team, Advantech Wise Edge pre-sales. She is in charge of a pre-sales manager. So take this chance, I would like to bring here to introduce some of our experience. Yiheng.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and thank you for having me today. And I work closely with Hank and with our partners to bring in our hardware expertise, optimization centered around use cases so that we have the best fit to deliver the solution in an optimum manner. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So from this, come back to our topic today. I think the first and most fundamental thing is that we see that in the AI era, one of the most interesting things is that in the past 10 years, if we say cloud, we always think about AWS, Microsoft, Oracle, all our software giants. But in the AI era, we found that chip vendor plays important roles. So what's the main difference and why the chip becomes so important. Of course, we said if we talk about cloud, we need to very powerful computing power, but how about the edge? Yeah, so why all the chip vendors are invested huge, especially if you know that in the past 1 month, there are many interesting developments in Qualcomm, right? So I would like to invite Han and Elder so to explain what you are doing and what's the main directions from both of your company, and what's the main values you would like to provide to the developers or to the markets, please. Yeah, Han, please.
Yeah. Yes, thanks for asking the question. I think you can see in the, especially for the EDGE AI, we know the couple the advantage. For example, like low latency and also some privacy. But you can see Qualcomm in the EDGE AI, we offer like, because the AI, some is the far edge. Far edge probably need a faster response, but not so heavy AI. And also in the far edge to the near edge, probably need a higher AI. So you can see the Qualcomm, especially in the hardware point of view, we can provide like lower AI 1 TOPS to the even to the 870 TOPS the computing power to offering the portfolio. But still, we saw if you saw the developer journey, even the hardware itself probably not good enough. So in the past years, you can see Qualcomm do a lot of like acquisition and also the things is trying to make the developer is more frictionless. So that's the major important things, how to the EDGE AI to enter the last mile to do the landing. So that's what's the developer journey Qualcomm trying to do. So you can see the EDGE Impulse, the friends here. So the EDGE Impulse in the March, we work acquisition with the EDGE Impulse and also to work in the last mile, how to help the customer to landing. In the meantime, in the last months, you can also see the Arduino announcement. Qualcomm also acquired the Arduino, try to play the role into the developer ecosystem. So from the developer to the real the enterprise product, and in the last mile, we also have the Foundry.io. They can do the the OTA, the device management. So from the Qualcomm point of view, we talk about the AI, but we really serious about the landing. So you can see all the EDGE AI and all the offering. We saw that will help the customer how to fast to the landing and to realize the EDGE AI in the field. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what I hear is that Qualcomm right now, when you focus on EDGE AI, you are very focused on how to help the developers communities.
Yeah.
Right. So because those professional developers can help you to expand your whole territories, and so how to help them to easier having their resource is one of your main mission.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
Great.
and you can see we also do a lot of some pre-work. For example, like probably already 1 year, we support like the AI hub. So the major things, beyond is Qualcomm the NPU, we still need to run the integer A. So some customers feel the pain, they need to convert the model to optimize in the Qualcomm chipset. So we host the AI hub as an open source. Then we do the pre-optimization on the Qualcomm solution about the AI model. In the meantime, we also provide like the AI appliance. We just announced this year. That's the one EDGE AI can run the Llama 4, the 109 the billion the parameter. So we also support all the Hugging Face, the open source. Okay. So that's the things we do the front work and also the infra to support the developer to create the application.
Awesome, sounds great, right? So please, Heather, what's your opinion and please share your achievement.
So realistically, first of all, if we look at the EDGE AI Foundation itself, every year you have more and more people joining and participating. This just shows that the EDGE AI itself is growing. From a statistical perspective, if you check from McKinsey or you check any Gartner's reports, they say daily there's around 400 petabytes of data generated, and almost 80 to 90% of it is not used because realistically sending it all to the cloud is a bit hard. From a Renesas perspective, we're largely a hardware vendor. We have a very scalable portfolio going, rather than going very high end, we go very low end from 16-bit all the way to 64-bit MPUs. We look at it from, I think, three perspectives. One is hardware. So the hardware itself goes 16-bit MCUs, 32-bit ARM, and 32-bit Renesas IP itself, and high-end 64-bit MPUs. We have a large variety of AI accelerators as well, from MCUs to MPUs. While we provide a lot of, let's say, flexibility from a hardware perspective, this adds a challenge of how to support models to be deployed on these hardwares. As the MathWorks team mentioned that they have compilers to run on a variety of hardware. This is very challenging, to be honest, to run, I would say. So we do have our own compilers. We run multiple front ends, such as TensorFlow Lite, PyTorch, ExecuTorch, and ONNX. We lower it down, and then we deploy it on a variety of our hardwares, and we make sure that the APIs are kind of synchronized so that they all run on the variety of hardware. And the last thing, this is for like more high-end customers who have their own AI teams, but also we need to enable the developers themselves. We provide a lot of variety of kits that we have a lot of examples, starting from a lot of application examples, very simple post-processing and pre-processing that you can use, but also a variety of models that can be very easily deployed. And finally, we also have a lot of partners that we work with. A lot of them are part of the EDGE AI Foundation, and we provide production-ready models for customers who don't really want to invest into developing their own models, but they just want to have ready-made solutions.
Okay, so I can hear some keywords from Qualcomm and Renesas to their focus on. One is that they would like to focusing on developer community, which are of you, right? So this is a very interesting transition because in the past, normally developer, I would say, all the chip vendor or even system providers like Advantech, we are more focusing on B2B business. But right now, developers becomes a very important, or I would say, it's a main focus we would like to engage with. So it's a very interesting part. But the second keywords relevant to the first one is that how to help the developers to solve the problem of complexity, right? From one single platform to another or to another. Yeah, I think that's very, very critical issues. So I will leave this question later for the other in the other panelists. But right now, I would like to shift to our focus to real world. So Daniel, what's from your experience, because you help many customers develop different kinds of AI model. So why the customers are shifting to Edge, or what's the buyers? What's their most important criteria to consider Edge AI or develop AI model? Because right now, many of our customers said, "What's the ROI? How could I evaluate the return?" I think it's a very important questions. So, what's your idea?
Okay, thanks for a very good question. So, I think the real challenge most of the clients who consider deploying, like migrating the AI workloads from data center to Edge would be cost, obviously. And we've been doing this before ChatGPT. So for your information, it's been 6 years since we founded our company. So we've been deploying AI models on Edge. When we first started this, we mainly focused on computer vision models. And back then, I think the motivation was different from now. So the main motivation was to, as Han mentioned, was latency or like privacy, security, or network connectivity issues. And that was obviously a very important factor to migrate those workloads on Edge. However, the demand is shifting from computer vision models to language models. Many clients, they want to enable language or voice functions on their devices. In that case, more than latency, they face this cost issues a lot. So I think the real challenge that they face is the cost issue again. And it's like the AI API cost, it might seem really cheap when we just consider that like per token level, but at the end of the day, considering that our clients have to deploy the same function, they connect all the AI APIs to hundreds of millions of their devices, like after a year, they find their cost ballooning, or like, and I mentioned during today's workshop, the more problematic thing would be those costs are unprojectable. So it's really a big threat for your business, like to plan your business or build your business model. So based on that, we try to we help our clients. I face our team helping out our clients to disconnect from those expensive AI APIs. And the challenge for us for that would be the gap between the target hardware, like the computing resource of the target hardware, and the model size or the complexity of the model. The gap has become bigger than the computer vision model. So Enerzai's approach for that would be that we go full scale. So as full scale, we define ourselves as providing a company providing a full stack edge AI solution. So we start from the model design. We define the project target with our clients, and based on that target or requirements, we do the model design, train it, and compress it. And not only compress it, we like push to the limits. Again, I gave it through this today's workshop. We do like one extreme low bit quantization, one bit quantization for language models, so we could squeeze the memories real small. And also we have our own AI compilers so that we make sure that it's executed properly. So we have to go full scale. We just don't automate a certain portion of this AI development or deployment part. I think this might not seem like sexy or like easy to scale, but for now, we're a team focusing more on providing value and solving the real problems our clients have. So to summarize, I think the cost issue is the biggest motivation of our clients migrating their AI workloads to edge, and I think it will be the demand will grow as time goes by. Yeah.
It's a really amazing achievement from 4 bit to 1 bit. Yeah. So could you please share some any case? Yeah. So that can we give us some concrete example?
Thanks for mentioning it. I might have missed the most important part or the most attractive part of our team. So I could share the most recent rollout case. Actually, last week, we rolled out our language model. So it's a language model for voice control, and it runs on a very low end, not low end, but a very like constrained computing resource system on chip. And we deployed that to 2 million set-top boxes back in Korea for our client called LGU Plus. And it worked out really good. The performance was really nice. Actually, they compared it with the AI APIs which they could enjoy connecting through the cloud, but they found it really nice. So eventually we commercialized it and rolled out so the end users could use it last Thursday. So, and that model actually was running below 100 megabytes, which I can emphasize because it was quite a constraint that we had when we first kicked off our project. Yeah.
Oh, sounds great. Okay, so Piyush, your turn. I would like to hear your story. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So before I start, maybe how many people have been to forest areas, like in this group? Probably not a lot, right? So like for us, people living in urban areas, it's very tough to understand the challenges that people in those rough terrains face. So I can just give you a context that just from India's point of view, like there is almost 10,000 kilometers of forest and village boundary that is present. And unfortunately, that entire boundary is totally unmonitored. And the only way to monitor it till now has been through manual human patrolling. But now you can understand, right, how biased or how ineffective such patrolling would be to like do it 24/7, right? So the next layer of like solving that problem would be to deploy cameras or existing old hardware-based solutions. Now the problem with those solutions comes is like since nothing is happening at the edge, they are essentially transmitting all sort of data, whatever they are getting, and unfortunately due to doing that, a lot of their battery gets quickly depleted, let's say within a month. Now imagine you have to cover 10,000 kilometers of length. You might need hundreds of thousands of such sensors in field. And if you have to replace the battery every few weeks, it's not going to scale, right? So that's where I think edge-based solutions can be very, very important, especially for the work we are doing. So I can just give you context like what we are doing in India right now. Battery life has expanded from less than a month to like 6 months or more than that. So few cameras are running which have been running on a single charge for more than 6 months. So the way we are achieving that is using Edge AI. Like we are able to segregate all sort of noise and only send selective data to the end users who then react based on that data. So now the advantage of Edge AI has been, since the battery life has increased so much, they can easily deploy more and more such solutions in the field, and they are also more comfortable in scaling such solutions because it ultimately has become more reliable for them to scale it up. So yeah, I mean, Edge has played a major role in what we are targeting right now. Currently, it has been limited to like increase in the battery life, but the future potential is limitless because data privacy and these kind of concerns we always get, right? Like if we can eliminate, for example, if we have a use case where the end user does not allow human images to be sent to the server, they only need certain wildlife species. So we now also have the capabilities to only send wildlife images. So that from that point of view, data privacy problem is also solved. And again, like it's a very like rapidly developing technology. I was going around through all the stalls that are present out there. There are so many edge-based solutions that are coming out. I think the future potential is going to be limitless once we are able to achieve the price point of the chip itself, and also the power consumption. As it comes down, I think this industry is going to explode, and I see clearly a lot of use cases, especially in remote areas. I think that's where edge-based technologies can play a significant role.
Great story, huh? Yeah. So from chip vendor and from the application vendors, we can catch another keywords that hardware and software we could not separate. We could not no longer separate them apart. We have to achieve the optimization. We have to get the cost, reduce the cost. So software have to consider the hardware. Hardware side, vendor side, they are invest in software. So the integration part becomes a key issue. And I think this issue is getting more and more important. So Ihan, could you please to explain why we are developing a new software stack from Advantech view, and what's the main challenge we would like to solve, and yeah, what's the value we could deliver?
Okay. Sure. Thanks for raising this, Hank. So there are plenty of toolkits around doing AI optimization, ML ops, device management, and vice versa. But the problem is right now, once you've got your AI solution, you want to move it off the cloud. It's people gluing the pieces together. So you move from one tool to the other until you're able to pop that model in a container on a device somewhere in the field. Now, imagine if you have 100 devices, maybe 1,000, maybe 5,000. We're not going to be able to go there and maybe stick in a USB stick and then upgrade that. We probably have to do some kind of OTA. And what happens if the OTA is on a different tool chain from your ML ops? Then that means a bunch of different people, different teams trying to orchestrate stuff, and it really quickly becomes a mess. So what we see here is the opportunity to streamline this pipeline from orchestrating the different tool chains, which we've started doing with our own hardware. So we have access to the low-level kernels and the toolkits because we're designing those, supporting that optimized against the different chipsets. And then with our partners' applications, we landed on specific selected hardware. So we actually tune it, we verify it works, and then that gives everybody a bit of easier job trying to piece stuff together. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I think it's a very exciting shift. Right now, software partners, they are engaging hardware to software. So I would like to ask you to, because it's a very good chance, from like Daniel and you, do you have any request or requirement to Han or to Elder or to Advantech? Do you have any questions or requirement? Yeah, I think it's a very interesting conversation.
So before like talking about the requirements, actually, for this event, like this, the workshop that I had with my good friend Benson, I had a chance to use the WIDA container, and it was really nice because we didn't have much time to prepare for the demo, and what we wanted to do was to, make a pipeline of converting my speech into a text and having an LLM take the text and come out with an answer and stuff. So, like, in terms like if we had to deal with the entire pipeline, it must have took us a long time. So it would have been impossible for us to demo in this event. But thankfully, currently, WIDA container, one of the WIDA container that Advantech provides has an LLM running on Adreno GPU. So for the demo, I was able to leverage that container, and our team only had to focus on the SDT part. So we had a cool demo with Benson. It was really nice, and I think that shows like it was a demo for today, but thinking that the time to market is really important, like for all businesses, and and of course it's really important for Enerzai as well. We need to deliver the best working edge AI models to our clients as fast as possible. In that case, if we already have a like ready to develop container like the LLM that I used today, if it wasn't for the demo, if it wasn't for a project, it would have saved us a lot of time, like development cost and everything. So I think it shows how software like providers and also hardware platform providers like Advantech should collaborate to so that our end users could eventually enjoy the best working AI models as fast as they could, because this AI ecosystem is moving so fast. And so based on that, my requirement would be having more containers, like more coverage of containers, so that we could further leverage. Yeah.
I didn't ask Daniel to promote our WIDA.
It was voluntary.
Thank you. Yeah, but actually, we found that what we are doing is for everybody. Today, we have some main partners. When we chatting, we found that everybody's doing the same thing. We would like to bring the ecosystem, just like what Daniel said. And I think Qualcomm and Renesas, they are doing the similar thing. We want to bring the whole value chain together and deliver the value to the market. So, yeah. So maybe Piyush and Han and other you can just talk about how do you manage your ecosystem and what would you like to do in the future.
Yeah, so like adding to the point that you just mentioned, that all the different vendors are sort of working on the same thing and eventually merging in their synergies. I think from my point of view, we as a application or a direct deployment company, like it's very confusing for us to choose a particular vendor because this industry is changing so rapidly and so quickly. So getting the right price point and also getting the right application behind it to solve our challenges is very critical, because like every month some vendor is announcing a new chip, which is of course a very good thing for the industry in general. But from my point of view, as a application company, is to figure out what exactly we need to go in, because in hardware the iterative cycle is very long. So that's a big pain point, because once you choose a particular IC, to move from that, it's a whole like a pain point, right? So it's not that easy from our point of view. So if we can figure a way out that this is it and we can stay on it for at least 3 to 4, maybe 5 years, I think that's good for our business. And one more thing is, like, from my point of view, I'm totally bullish on this industry, Edge AI. I fundamentally believe every sensor is going to become a smart sensor, urban areas, remote areas, and I think the potential is trillions of sensors being smart enough. It's just that what I'm curious, like, whether like as a an industry player, is like, how smart can it become? Like, what can it solve at the edge level? Like, that's a very open point, like in 5 years from now, how the industry will look like, and what sort of pain points can we solve with it. So yeah.
Yeah, so ecosystem important, and but for hardware, I said that hardware and software we need to start to integrate together, but actually it's very extremely difficult thing, because hardware is a long term. It's a our path is 1, 2, 3, but software is iterate. So how to combine together is the really challenging things. So maybe Han and Elder, you can share your, yeah.
Yeah, I think so you mentioned the ecosystem, but how to grow the ecosystem, Qualcomm is very focused on to give the ecosystem developer the frictionless the experience. So that's the major focus. We try to build from the OS level, SDK level. Of course, it's still have room to improve. We keep doing it, and also we're working with like Advantech, like they will have the domain know-how, can tell us what we can do better. So that's the major things. We'll try to improve the ecosystem, even the incubate the ecosystem. In the meantime, we also to build the ISV program from the region and try to incubate the ISV and to develop the ecosystem. Yeah.
We can feel that Qualcomm's efforts, because in 2 years back, there was a very famous developer, very professional developers. They said, Qualcomm stuffs. No, sorry, I can't find anything over internet. But today I met him. He said, "Oh, Qualcomm is a really good, very interesting development." So I think it's a very eminent progress. Yeah. So we expect it to see in the future. And please.
I would say two main pain points are, the first one is embedded engineering and machine learning engineering are very distinct silos. And finding people with the knowledge of embedded and ML is not that common. And lowering the gap for newer students to learn both embedded and ML, we should provide, I guess, more documentation and more training material to embrace the newer generation to go embedded ML. Because currently there is a lot of, let's say, machine learning engineers and embedded engineers working together, but they still have a separation in how they develop their models. Sometimes if you're going for the lower end, the machine learning models that they develop either will not have operators to be supported on the hardware, or they're just too big to fit in. So I guess one of the requests would be to have more embedded ML engineers in general. And the second one is from the higher end, it's not that big of an issue, but at the lower end of MCUs, there's a very big heterogeneity of hardware and AI accelerators. And how do you deploy them differs from vendor to vendor and from IP to IP. So if you, for example, develop a model to deploy on specific, let's say, hardware, it may not be deployed on another hardware because some of the AI IPs will not just support such operators, and they might go software fallback, and this may cause a lot of, let's say, degradation in the inference speed. So from a silicon vendor perspective, maybe there should be some discussions on how to agree more on more set of operators that everyone should support. And also, there's a huge variety of front ends to support, such as recently also ExecuTorch came into play in version 1. So now, as a silicon vendor, we need to support another front end because customers are coming up with more requests.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, very impressive. I would like to pause here and ask, do you have any questions? And would you like to join us this conversation? I think this is a very precious opportunities. I think we have run over the time. Yeah, but if any question, please take this chance. It's a very precious time. Okay, so give me last 1 minute, okay? Yeah, okay. Yeah, anyway, there is no other sessions. So last question to all of you. What do you see in the next 5 years? What will be maybe edge AI or this world, whatever you would like to say? What's the main trend you have seen right from now? Maybe.
Yeah. So I think what we see now as edge AI gets closer to where the data is happening, it's going to be a convergence of disciplines. So you've got people who's taking care of the data and the devices. You've got people who have the skill sets to optimize the AI, and you definitely need the know-how from the chipset people because that's what's making the stuff run real quick and fast enough to respond in real time to the problems that are discovered in the data. Yeah, but this has to be done together as a crowdsourced knowledge together in the ecosystem, because I think if I quote my friend Nicholas, who was there at Milan, if we're only looking at one single part of that puzzle, it's just going to be a purely science endeavor. It's not going to be engineering. It's not going to be deliverable.
Yeah, hand, please.
This question, I want to give you an example. Exactly 5 years ago, we worked with some factory about the cable assembly, the EDGE AI checking, the SOP checking. At that time, because we work with the partner, they mainly do the data collection and also to do the model fine-tuning, labeling. We take 6 months. Take 6 months, then later on, if the enterprise customer, they want to change the SOP, then we do 6 months again. So that's the experience just 5 years ago. But right now, we discuss about the next generation. So right now, next generation, because some VLM, some technology improvement, ecosystem, we have the auto labeling tool, some ecosystem complete. So the schedule right now is total different. Even the shorten probably only about the 20% of previous time. And also the technology improvement, we can offer the twice the EDGE AI power at that time. So in the next 5 years, we can see the technology in the ecosystem will be the trend, and the two have the EDGE AI to booming. Yeah.
Awesome, great. Yeah. So Daniel, what's your vision and what you see from your field side?
So as an EDGE AI solution provider perspective, obviously like applications like robotics or physical AI is coming, and considering that, I think we have to define, really look into how to define the role of EDGE AI would be. So even though we provide the very low memory, very small models to our clients so that they can use it, like some of the clients, they use multiple models of ours. And as time goes by, it will stack, obviously, and we can't just, like small models won't be sufficient to fix their problems. So I think we have to, we never go against the cloud, like AI that's provided through the data center. And in that perspective, we define our Enerzai's role to come out with a really good classifier or like a function calling function that runs on edge, so they could really classify, like seamlessly classify what has to remain on edge and what we need to send to cloud. So that's more realistic, I guess. So I think in 5 years, considering that thinking of robotics, we would have many models running on that single endpoint, and we will have those kind of bunch of robots around us. Not maybe in 5 years, but I think within 5 years, we would, EDGE AI's role would be focusing on, being a really good function caller or a classifier to divide which would go to cloud and which would remain on edge. Yeah.
So I feel that I found that everybody's equal to each other. From Ihang, he said that we need to consider how's the real-time decision making can bring the revenue, can bring the benefit to the real world. And Han said that the technology is boosting, and many exciting things are emerging. So, and same as Daniel said, there's no longer cloud edge separation. In the future, we'll mingle everything. We will restructure the technology, fit into the Daniel business purpose, right? So I think we have seen this is coming in the very near future. So Pinyu, what's your perspective?
I think to begin with, what Matteo said in the presentation today earlier was every 6 years there's a tsunami of a new technology. So what I personally am very excited about is integrating Gen AI on the MCU level itself. How smart it can make our edge devices. Like 5 years from now, I think it's going to be like totally going to change everything. So from my point of view, all I can just say is like how smart our cameras can become. or like how much can we do it at the edge level itself. So that is what I'm very interested about, especially with Gen AI based technologies right at the edge level. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, Elder, use your turn.
Say two things. One is from the reports that say that 80 to 90% of data generated right now is not being used. I would hope that that number would go down and more of the data is actually being used to do more processing on the edge itself. And the second thing I would say is Edge AI and TinyML was a very big thing and very interesting thing. Right before ChatGPT, it was the most interesting thing, and then ChatGPT took everything by storm. I would expect that within the next 5 years, that Edge AI will be the most back on top, where you would be able to deploy more SLMs on actual devices. And I would expect that right now, when we deploy, or our partners or customers deploy AI on our silicon or maybe other silicon vendors' silicon, it's still very novel. It's still very new. It's still very, oh, wow, they deployed this AI. And if you see any, let's say, industrial automation or anything, consumer products, they may mention in the marketing, we have AI. But I would expect that within the next 5 years, AI is a thing that everyone just uses rather than it's something novel. And yeah, that's
Yeah, interesting. So today, from today's discussion, at least I learned one thing, is that right now I think we are not in a paradigm shift, not only technology side, but also it's a business value chain wash over. Yeah, so you can see the silicon vendor starting to do the application, and application vendor, they are starting to engage in the sensor. They want to make it more intelligent, make it more power consumption, so make it more optimized. So everybody in the future, maybe in between, there are multiple value chain in between, but right now they started to talk to each other directly. So I think it's not only technology part. It will be a complete mess of, but I think the opportunity will be there. Thank you. Thank you for your listening. And thank you all for your attending.